Okay, this fucking bullshit of breaking privacy laws in my life from what I can see since 2015. And this bullshit with the hairdresser Belinda Jeffries from La Boutique Hair Salon. When I first went in there in August 2013, it was continuously, who is he? Who is he? It's none of your business because I'm going to a business for a haircut and treatment. Who I am as a person in my life is none of your business. And that person who stalked social media, this is all social media stalking shit as well, really fucking pissed me off. Now, I went in there in 2014 with my youngest sister, Sky Sheridan Fleming, who's beautiful. She looks like a Fleming. Like you can see the Fleming side, which is here. Like this one is really old. Because this photo right here is my parents' wedding in 1977. Okay. Who you have here with a hook nose, that is Ruby Jean Hill. This man here is Stanley Fleming, the guy that looks like he's an Arab. Yeah, what do you think I look like I'm an Arab? This is getting a bit beyond the joke, guys. My entire life I've had to tell people because they see me with my mum's side and my mum's second husband's family. And for my entire life, I've have had this hell. This is so traumatic. Do you know how horrible it is to continuously be repeating yourself because you're the odd one out? Because you look different. But I don't look different to my dad's side. That's the thing. Do you know how fucking goddamn horrible this is? The same here. Here's my green card photo. My hair's straightened. That's my green card photo. There's me. Okay? And here is me in my passport photo. So my passport photo. You see it's the original. And people that actually still remember me in my 20s when I still look like that. For an example. Oh, here we go. Here, this is me at the end of 2004 with a mate of mine, Johnny Tataro, at his brother Sam Tataro's wedding. There we go. That's myself right there. That's how I normally look. My skin was always dark. It's naturally dark. Not white. Albanian's mum's side. Because mum's side's French, Irish and English. But I've always got a bit of my dad's father's DNA, which makes my skin go dark. So my dad's father, he's not Caucasian. I'm really not interested in your bullshit white crap going on in the world at the moment. One side of my family's white, as the other side has got ethnic. I'm I've come from a mixed race family. So I really don't give a shit anymore with America too. Like Jesus Christ, like what this bullshit's gone on. I saw what they did to Kamala Harris. Not that I'm a Democrat supporter, but it's like they were knocking her accents, and it's like, oh, making out to be something it's not. I'm like, get fucked. And we used to be a Republican only because I'm a capitalist. I was like, get fucked. Her father, like she's got different race parents. So she can actually have more than one accent because of who she's around. I know that because from the Parramatta accent to the city accent to my great-grandmother who spoke with the Queen's English with a plum in her mouth. So I looked at Kamala Harris in America going, well, that's not unusual if you come from a mixed-race family, but if you're some fucking dickhead idiot like on the Republic, like you see shit like this in your life and it's like, it's bullshit. You know, you're focusing on stuff that doesn't matter which is what politics are, instead of focusing on things that do matter. Okay, dropping taxes or not taxing, not giving people a harder life to live. Okay, while politicians rake in a shitload of money for doing nothing and sit on a pension for the rest of their life, and everyone's scrimping and scraping, going through health issues and waiting for the right doctor or getting fucked over by medicals and having to pay for it for themselves. Do you know how bad that is? Like you get fucked over by a medical industry and you're still paying for the effects to try and fix the damage that someone's caused to your body. I just heard a friend of mine who I've known since, 2006 actually. Her husband, I'll tell you how great her husband is. Absolutely, her ex-husband, they're still together, John. They had they had a mechanic business there on Young Street in Surrey Hills years ago. So I'm working at Star Casino. This is back in 2006. I'm working at Star. Oh no, I think this might have been 2007 when Mum, it was before I was mugged anyway. Mum's at Penrith races. My families were heavily involved in the racing industry. So my mum used to always go to Penrith Racing Ball. Okay. And she kept hassling me about going out. I was like, they wouldn't change. I couldn't get the night off work. I'll come out as soon as I finish work. Mum will still have a dance. I just missed dinner. So anyway, so I get out to Penrith after work. Mum had the shits with me because I was late, but I was like, I went straight from work. And she got up and she snobbed me and walked straight to the bathroom. What was his name? Sullivan. Was it Peter Sullivan? He's in the trotting industry. He goes, oh, you know what the Purdies are like, Justin. And Julia Muscat was there, which is Julian. So Julian used to race horses with my grandfather as well, the Muscats, the Maltese family. And Julia, the daughter, was there. Just like, oh, you know, your family, the way they yell and scream, you swear, like your mother's side, you swear they were bloody Maltese. Anyway, I go up, so look, I'm exhausted. I've just finished work, Mum. I'm not putting up with your, like, Mum can be so toxic. I'm not putting up with this. I'm going. So I left to drive back in the city from Penrith. She messaged me. She goes, where are you? I'm fine now. I'm like, I don't care, Mum. I'm like you've pissed me. Like, I don't care. Your drama. This is how long ago these dramas. It's like, I don't care. I had to work. You think I can drop things to me? Anyway, I was that pissed off, so I went to my meditation spot. My meditation spot was always Watson's Bay. It's just so relaxing there. God, it's relaxing. I went to my meditation spot to meditate. I don't care what fucking people think of it. I can see the whole clear view of the city and look out to the Tasman Sea at the same time. I think it's the most relaxing, beautiful spot. So I'm there, driving back. I'm so pissed off still, and they've just put the fucking speed humps in. So I'm driving back down where I used to gallop my horse. I used to gallop my horse down Moore Park Road when I was a teenager. Those roundabouts and those speed humps were never there. They were never there. Because I know, because I used to gallop flat chat down Moore Park Road on my horse. From Paddington right down to the Bat and Ball Hotel, I would gallop flat chat right down that area, right down. And those speed humps, they were only put in after around 2005, and those roundabouts. So I'm driving my Alfa Romeo there, and I've airlifted it up over a speed hump, and I've cracked the sub, and it's late at night. And I ring Nikki's husband, John. I was like, I've got oil pissing out of my sports car everywhere. I said, like, I'll get it back down to Surrey Hills. And he goes, park it in the driveway of the garage. I'll get to it in the morning. I rang, it was late at night, I kid you not, I rang John, her husband. They live in Blacktown. They had the business in Surrey Hills. And I rang him, most nicest guy. I think it's wrong because I just got the phone to Nikki. And I'm in my 20s, and I've just fucked up the sub in my sports car. So I fucking cracked it. I said, I airlifted it over the speed hump down in Moore Park Road. I was pissed off. I was reminiscent of galloping my horse down there, and next minute my car was like airborne and cracked the sub. So, you know, nice people like that. Now, they can remember me when I was in my 20s, and I was young and fit and healthy. And I look the way I do because I look like a Fleming. And if you think I haven't had to put up with this my entire life, I have. Believe me, I have. Here's my father when he was a teenager on his motorbike around Parramatta. That's my actual father, Mark Fleming. Mark Rackley is not my father, Mark Fleming is. The builder's my father. Mark Rackley is, and this is the shit, I tell you what I fucking can't stand, nurses. I fucking can't stand the scumbags going sick to death of negligence. All these people that were opening their mouth up about me in the last 11 years, you fucking pieces of country town hick. You fucking know Mark and Daniel Rackley, you scummy fucking bastards. You Freemason nursing home piece of fucking low-life shit. They're talking about Mark and Daniel Rackley. Mum's second husband's family, the druggos, the deadbeats. Oh, the fucking scum. Sick to death of it. Well, here's me in late 2004. That's me right there, dark-skinned. That's John Totaro. That's at his brother Sam Totaro's wedding. Here is me in 2011, my passport photo. And I can tell you now, during my 20s, there's not much difference. Okay? I still look the same. There's 2004 and there's 2011. And this rubbish because I occasionally would straighten my fucking hair. Every day I got up from being a little kid. My parents were still together. Which means Carol Purdy was still married to Mark Fleming. Big Nan, which is Mary, the one that spoke with a plum in her mouth, gave me a coarse hairbrush because I had this little 80s haircut where it was short on top and long at the back, and the back was like... And Reg, Mum's father, This guy. Reg Purdy is from Balmain. This guy here, that's their wedding. And that's Lola May. I'm catching up with her nephew tomorrow night. It's my grandmother. It's Lola. That's Reg. That's Carol and Mark Fleming, 1977. And I'm back soon. Pop said, oh, you're going to do something with that bird's nest? So, big nan, I've still got it. Gave me a course. I used to brush my hair down straight. And that's not a problem. You wake up, my hair's like this, so I brush it down straight, it's nice and neat and tidy. Never a fucking problem until you bastards started your fucking scam in the last 11 years since 2015, and you can, honest to God, believe it, I'm fucking furious. I have never seen so much fucking goddamn rubbish from organisations in all my life where I'm sitting back going, you guys are scamming little cunts, because everything you've said is just bullshit. And yes, my family's involved in the racing industry. There we are. Okay, this is Lola. That's myself, my twin sister Amanda. That's the half sister mum had with her second husband, the Rackley. That's Faith Rackley, and that's my mother. Right? There we go. You're going to see photos of me. I always look like the old one now because I look like a Fleming. That's at Flemington. Oh yeah, my last name is Fleming, by the way. That's at Flemington Races in Melbourne in 2003. This is me riding at Royals. So I used to compete in Royals. We're Flemings. We're not Rackleys. That horse is worth more than my BMW. Okay? That's me at a Royal. That's me. See the boots? Oh, that. I've still got the crop. It sits in my bedroom as an ornament. Okay, don't fucking start shit. And yeah, they had horses in the city. You see this photo here? This is Piper Street Leichhardt, directly across the road from 43 Piper Street Leichhardt. That house had been in our family since the 1930s. 43 Piper Street Leichhardt was in our family since the 1930s. Okay? My grandmother was raised in that house. It was only sold in 1999. This is how it used to look. There's the viaducts. There is, if you look right there, the lady standing up in the middle. Just there. Oh, there you go. Is Lola. This lady here holding a baby, that's my great-grandmother Mary. That's Big Nan, and she's holding my mother as a baby. But my mother was born in Darlinghurst. Her parents were still living in Rozelle. If you don't know this simple information about me, how can you say you've ever sat with me and paid attention? I mean, I know that, okay, Johnny Totaro is a good friend of mine, so I'll listen. I know because I, spent time with his dad, who was apparently like a travelling busker when he met his mother, and they were travelling around there from two different parts of Italy. When they were travelling around, and they met, he was, playing the guitar or something. I listen. I'm sitting there going, oh, that's sweet. I listen to my friends. When I say, because everyone's always like, but you look so different to the rest of your family. I'm like, I only look different to mum's side and mum's second husband's side. And that's not unusual because I'm not blood related to mum's second husband's side of the family. I'm related to her first husband. These are my grandparents on my dad's side. That's my nan Ruby. And that's my pop Stanley. So if you actually know, of course, you can see that's better. That's nan Ruby. Ruby Jean Hill. Stanley Fleming. Linda Fleming. Linda Marion Fleming. Fleming surname. This is the whole crap that organisations carried on with because I put the Von back in the Fleming. Okay. It was Rob Van Erden. So this whole thing with the surname was fine. In 2006, Rob was from Holland. He's living up the road from me in Cleveland Street, near Burke Street. His boyfriend is Bob, is it Kazak? Builder. Lebanese builder who still lives in Surrey Hills, I used to be friends with. And I'm having this discussion because Rob Van V-A-N Erden, he's very Holland looking, he's your surname's is it spelled that way? I said it is. He goes, where's your dad from? I said, Parramatta. Because where's your dad's father from? I said, we don't know. And it is the fact. So people have looked at photos of my family and said, they're Italian. Now people have also said, they're Turkish. Okay. Could have been is used a lot because let me just tell you exactly the facts. Okay, Stanley Fleming Pop, I remember him very well. He's not born in Australia. He came here when he was 6. Now, the lady who raised him is Edith Kavanagh in Botany Bay. Edith Kavanagh was an unmarried spinster who raised ethnic orphan boys. At the same time she was raising Pop, she raised a Maltese guy. So that was apparently what she used to take in was like ethnic orphan boys. And these are facts. Okay, they're not, oh, it's, it's said this or said that. Uncle George Hill, who's my nan's brother, I asked him, like, I'm still living in Surrey Hills. I moved out of Surrey Hills in 2012. I'm asking Uncle George Hill, Dad, Mark Fleming's uncle, his mother's brother. I said, the stuff to do with Pop's nationality, why was it kept such this sort of bizarre secret? I said, because, and this is when I'm still living in Surrey Hills, I said, because the guy up the road said our surname is supposed to have Von in it. He said, because the Fleming, Fleming, 100 years ago, they dropped the Von and just went Fleming. And he said, there's history books with it written. He said, so it's actually there in documents that Fleming was a two-part surname, the same as his name is Erden, but it's Van Erden, V-A-N space Erden. And, you know, saying that Fleming comes from, and this is in 2006, Fleming comes from the area where it's a Flemish name where Belgium meets France. This is what was said, but that's the surname. Doesn't mean my grandfather's from there. Like I've said, could it be Chechen, like Arabic Russian? And we're joking around, and Uncle George said to me, he said, the issue being is why, you know, your grandmother would clam up with this is because they say, you know, Stanley was an orphan, but his parents may have been alive when they sent him to Australia. They sent him before the Second World War. So he said that's why there was all these secrets. And Auntie Linda, last time I went down to, so Auntie Linda moved from Parramatta in 2015 down to Bowral. Last time, you know, I was there with Auntie Linda because that's still a big discussion. But with Dad's side, you're either going to see this look that I am, or you're going to see what looks to be Hitler's henchman. And that's just the way it is. So you've either got me that looks like I'm Bosnian or whatever, or you're going to see Jeff Williams, who his mother is my dad's sister, which is so Sharon Fleming, Sharon Dawn Fleming, and her husband's Bobby Williams. And you're going to see Jeff, who, when he was skiing in Austria, fitted in perfectly to Austrian and North Italians, and so does his sister Meredith. Okay, and that's just the way it is. And this is something that organisations had an issue with accepting in the last 11 years. I'm like, but these are facts. Why do you have an issue with accepting this? How come you can't accept the fact that Dad's other sister, Sandra Faye Fleming, who married Barry Johnson, who has got afro black hair and a hook nose, how come you can't accept the fact that then her sister, who is Sharon Fleming, who throws a bit German looking, and her kids all look German, but Sandra's son looks like he should be Ali. You know, Shane Johnson, who's yay high with a mono brow, thick black hair like Pop and dark olive skin. Where the others, how come you can't accept this? Because there is right from my family where it's like you got this blonde hair, blue eye, then you got this dark ethnic Arab looking. And it's not that hard if you start looking at the facts of where the DNA comes from. If you go with the DNA of Ruby Jean Hill, her mother's Ada Gray, who has a hook nose and very frizzy hair and looks very Jewish. Ada Gray's husband, Frank Edward Hill, not born in Australia, but came to Woollahra when he was young, which is why Nan's parents are married in Woollahra. So why is it that you guys seem to be focusing on talking to my mother when it comes to the Fleming side history, when I'm the one that used to go and see my grandmother, Ruby, all the time at 23 Bangladesh Street, Essendon Beach, and would sit with her and be asking questions? Why, when I would sit with her brother, George Hill, and be asking questions? Why, when after I had spoke to Uncle George Hill, I called my dad's sister and said, so what? So, because I remember, growing up with my family, but this is what Uncle George Hill said. We've got documents to back this up. I always love supporting documents. And there'll be some stuff where Aunt Sharon said, well, I don't have all this because I don't have stuff to do with the Kavanaghs. Well, but I've got this and I've got this. I said, can I have a copy of those documents? And I have a copy of them. And the problem is that what everyone's gathered information from in the years that have just gone by is from my mother's side. You've listened to Amanda. You listen to my mother. Stop. My mother doesn't even know anything about her own family. She'd have to drag herself away from the horses. And my mother and my mother's sisters never listened. Reg and Lola, for an example. It was before France did nuclear. Well, no, it was when France did nuclear testing. See, there's Pop there. His name's Reginald George Purdy. His mother's name's Lillian Steele. His father's Keith Purdy. Okay. His sister is Valerie Purdy, who married in Evans. Valerie Evans. His brother is Raymond Purdy. Okay. I don't know much more about them except what Pop told me because he was never close to his family. His mum's grandmother, his mother used to race greyhounds just down the road from where I live. He had his horses at Harold Park Raceway. And Goodwood Sattery, which is not too far from where I lived, know the Purdys really well because my grandfather had a sattery business connected to theirs in Broadway. So I spent a lot of time in his current area growing up where I'm in right now, which is why I just go the same back streets as I did when I was a kid. So I heard the address of where I'm actually currently living. As soon as I heard, I was like, oh, I know exactly where that is. Not far from the clock tower, blah, blah, blah. Oh, easy. Oh, Christ almighty, hanging around here when I was a kid, but I also used to spend a lot of time here right through my entire life. I used to even rent a garage not too far. And then you used to see me back up, even in 22, I used to hang out, 22. In 2012, I used to hang out back on Glebe Point Road. There used to be a record bar. It was a cafe bar. Records along the wall. When you walk in to the far right hand side, there was a bar up the back there, and it was a record bar. It used to be up on Glebe Point Road. Let's hang out there, and then down the road on Glebe Point Road every single Tuesday, when my cousin on my dad's side, Joan Hillier, was at Sydney University lecturing, I was there having coffee with her. So I never left the inner city area my entire life growing up. Where I went to school is not where I grew up. It's where I went to school, and that's what people don't seem to want to accept the facts. Where I went to school, I just went to school there. That's not really where I grew up. Depends who you grew up with. Lola's from Leichhardt. I'm gonna have dinner with my cousin tomorrow night, which is Lola's nephew, and that's the Keegan side. So the racing industry side as well. Well, Mum's parents, the racing industry side, and that. This is all facts. And I've had organisations find it really difficult to actually accept these facts. Well, these are the facts. It's not an opinion. And when a person sits there and say, well, that's your opinion, I'm like, that's not an opinion. Like, these are facts. And when you're sitting there like a little fucking country town cunt that needs a good fucking headbutt, and you're there going, but in your opinion, it's like, well, it's not my opinion. It's not my opinion that my parents were from their first marriage and the other kids from second marriages. That's not an opinion. It's not my opinion when I was sitting there saying to this fucking little country town cunt, and I'm saying, my flesh and blood, Sky Sheridan Fleming's my flesh and blood. That's my blood sister. But that's your opinion. It's not my fucking opinion. Her father's Mark Fleming, my father, my flesh and blood. You little fucking country town cunt. That is not my fucking opinion, you fucking little cunt from the country. I hate country people. So did Reg. My grandparents absolutely fucking hated country people for this exact fact. They're pieces of shit people that cannot be told. More respect for city people than country fucking little cunts of people are pricks. You can tell them to, it's like, oh, I'm not going to argue with stupid. Thanks. I'm tired of arguing with fucking stupid. Reg was the same. He'd be like, oh, he had to put up with country people at Homebush sale yards every time he was buying and selling racehorses. Because he's from the city. So he's from the city racing industry. And he hated fucking country people. Hated them. Like, oh, they'll rip you off, the bastards, the most dishonest people you ever meet. He'd be like, I put up with them down at Homebush all the friggin' time. The friggin' dishonest bastards. Can't tell them anything. Can't tell them anything, country people. And it's fucking true, they're cunts. Country people are fucking little cunts. You can't tell them, you'll be sitting there, you'll be arguing, it's like, what's the point of arguing with stupid? They're fucking losers. You sit there and be like, no, that's wrong. That's your opinion. And like, yeah, then they'll do it. It's like, well, no, I'm telling you facts. Like, you sit there and be like, oh, I'm not related to that mark. I'm related to this mark. And it's like, man, I'm telling you facts. I'm related to Mark Fleming, not Mark Rackley. And you'll be there trying to tell them facts. It's like, you're just ignoring their facts and you're writing down wrong information. Like, you were literally ignoring the facts here and you just wrote down, you wrote on a document incorrect information. And it's like, but in your opinion, it's like, you're a fucking country town loser. You're a fucking little cunt. I can't stand country people. Can't fucking stand it. I mean, my mother wanted to run away there to the New England area. I was like, see ya. And start to fill out with fucking losers and the fucking nursing little scum. Oh, fucking nurses, mate. Piss off. Lola's, yeah, fine. Lola's her family went to Wellington, New South Wales, but was back home living in Sydney before she was even finished first part of primary school. I remember that, so she was about 6 when they moved back home to Sydney. She was in first form or something at school. She was in first form, and she went to school in the city. When her father, who was a jockey, broke his back, and her mother's a seamstress. So the whole family is from the inner city suburbs of Sydney. That's who I grew up with. Fucking sick of it. So if you can't just sit there and actually know the simplest facts with me, then what the fuck? I mean, you should be sitting back going, well, Justin looks like his dad's side of the family. That's why he looks the way he does. And Amanda obviously looks like the mother's side of the family. That's why they look complete opposite for twins. I mean, he's dark, she's fair. I mean, it does go tanned, but so she's got probably a bit of dad's side. But dad's father was dark skinned. On all his documents, where you put down for like legal documents, so when you're doing profiling, because he was in the military, so you put down Caucasian and so forth. My grandfather wasn't Caucasian; he was dark. It was like Arabic skin. So on all his documents, it is dark olive skin. It's dark. Now you would have to know these simplest facts, Louis Stanley. That on every document, he wasn't written down as being a Caucasian man. He was written down as being a dark man. Okay? On every document. And these are simplest facts, but I had to spell it out for government departments who then read a statutory declaration of mine that's actual factual, right down. It's not based on opinion, it's based on actual facts. And they're going, oh, that's bullshit. I'm like, that's not bullshit. That's where I'm born. That's where my parents are born. That's where my grandparents are born. That's where they've moved. That's where they've lived. We don't live in the same area. Yeah, and this shit that has gone on for 11 years where you pissed me off. I'm not going to back down. I've got fucking little... And the fucking little nursing cunts. Mate, you fucking little piece of shit. You're not a doctor. Fuck off, you scummy cunt. The fucking scum shit who know Mark Rackley. The fucking scum that know the Rackleys. I tell everyone, I said, oh, if you know the Rackleys... If someone says, they know the Rackleys, fucking walk away from them. The Rackleys are fucking low-life, disgusting people. It's my mum's second husband's family. Mum made all her money from her first husband, my father, who's a builder, Mark Fleming, and then gives it all to the second husband, who's a deadbeat loser. If you meet someone that's like, oh, well, I knew this person, like Rackley, it's like, fucking walk away from the scum. Fucking walk away from the deadbeat scum. Or better yet, fucking headbutt the cunt because they're not worth pissing on. If they know the Rackleys, they are not worth pissing on. As a person, they are the lowest piece of shit scum you would ever meet in your entire life. Because any decent, normal person will put their head down and cross the road at the likes of the Rackleys. Any normal person will do that. Now, I'm not going to keep going around these circles. I've had a gutful. Okay? And all on social media, you've got photos of all my family members. This is why I have very little to do with people in my life. I don't accept new people. I'm happy to have sort of older people that were meaningful towards me that are willing to go, well, okay, so that is Justin's grandfather, or that's this, or, that's who he is. And that's, I mean, Christ, there's a photo, you can see, I like talking about gold jewelry and so forth. So you have a look at my father in 1990, dripping of gold, dripping. He looked like the biggest wog to look at, and that's not done deliberately because Dad just sort of threw a bit of his father, but then his own mother, his grandmother Ada Gray, who's got that real sort of ethnic look about him, hook nose, frizzy curly hair, but his grandfather is Frank Edward Hill, and that whole side of the family from Kate Elizabeth Keeling King to Herbert. Was it Edward, isn't it? Edward Herbert Hill? His name's grandfather. Anyway, they look German. From Kate Elizabeth Keeling King, they look freaking German. That whole side. But they're from England. So that part is the ones that are from England. I can give you a whole rundown to where they're all from. I was like, how do I know? Because we know everything except for right back to Nan's great-grandmother who is French, which my mum doesn't want to accept. That's what I was getting at with this before I circle back around. Reg. France was doing nuclear testing in the early 90s. I'm there sitting on the sofa in Carrier Road, Pop's in the front door watching a fucking tiny TV that used to kill your eyes. Nan's on the three-seater sofa under the air conditioner there. It was winter. It wasn't summer, but she's there. And we're watching TV, and it went on the news about, I don't know what year this was, but apparently, I only remember that France was doing nuclear testing off some island somewhere. Pop did this, like, we've seen it, came across the news, he's looking at it like that. Next to me, he turns to Lola, to Nan, and he goes, I wouldn't be telling anyone you're French anymore, Lola. Like, just like that, and went back to TV. And I turned to Nan and said, are you French, Nan? She's like, yes, Justin, like this. It was part. I said, oh, okay. Well, and I'm only young, because your name's Keegan, because that's Irish. She goes, my grandmother's French. Why do you think my name's Lola? And that's what she said. What she should have actually said was that, well, Julia, her grandmother's actually French and Irish, because that is actually the truth. Some of that mum kept. It's like, you're an idiot, Carol. Like, I had a discussion with Uncle Fred. My mum was sitting there going, oh, they make it up. No, Carol, you're the compulsive liar. You're the compulsive liar. That anything that my mum's parents would say, the daughters have an issue. The daughters have an issue with their parents. There's something wrong with those three purdy dog women here. They don't listen. I would sit there and they would be there and like, look here, this is it, and they would just won't listen. It's whatever and it's so frustrating to be around my mother and her sisters. I can't stand it. It's the most horrible. I don't have anything to do with them. They were told freaking 30 years ago, once Nan's dead, don't come near me. I don't want anything to fucking do with you. I'll put up with you for Nan's sake, and that's fucking it. I can't stand them. I fucking cannot stand my cunt of a mother. I've never been close to her in my fucking goddamn life, and everyone who knows the family knows that. You will not find one person that'll be like, Justin and his mother was so close. Bullshit. Fucking bullshit. You'll find a scummy little piece of shit that's fucking Carol's friend, like Margaret fucking cunt-faced Brit. Oh, she knew the truth. Miriam Mahowski, mum's younger sister, would call me and goes, right, your mum's in Sydney. Okay, if she wants to go see Margaret Brit, go and see Margaret Brit with her. Keep the peace. Because if you don't, and she gets up, like, it's upset, she'll come up here and she'll take it out on Nan. Do you want her to take it out on Nan? It's like this blackmailing. It's constant blackmailing. I'm like, oh, no. She goes, right. Okay, it's one day, Justin. Just put up with it for one fucking day. You have to there eat humble pie, run her fuckwit friends, and watching their fuckwit bullshit, like John Kirk and Margaret fucking Britt and the rest of the fucking useless piece of shit they know Carol. Do you really think we want anything to do with these cunts? Nan and Pop hated them. Nan's there, she calls me Glorch. Nan fucking hated them. Nan said, Margaret's got a short memory. When her brother John died, it was Reg who paid her airfares to move back here from America. Margaret was living in America. Her brother died. She couldn't even pay her own fucking airfares to come back to Sydney, and Reg paid it. Nan hated them. And Pop hated all Mum's friends except for Bev Jones. Beverly Jones was married to Lindsay Jones, the property developer. There's the only one friend that fucking Pop liked. So fuck off with the bullshit. I'm not interested. I'm too old for it. Nana Pop's dead. So fuck you, Purdy dogs. I'm sick of this shit. This rubbish in the last 11 years. It's like this headache. Oh, fuck, now I've got the migraine that Pop used to get because of his daughters. I can't fucking stand. I wish that they would fucking, put them on a flight together and just put them on a flight with no fuel and let the fucking plane crash, would you? Fucking those three scum, toxic, fucking Purdy bitches. They only like each other. They get along so well with each other because toxic feeds toxic. I don't want anything to do with them. I had to put up. I don't want to fucking do with them. I don't want anything to do with fucking Carol, my mother. Why the fuck would anything to do with Carol? We're not close. When Mum and Dad was together, I was closer to Dad, the builder. Did everything with my father. And then Dad left, but he was still in our life. And he went to Parramatta, to his parents' house. Then to Empire Bay. No, parents' house, Penrith, Blue Mountains, then Empire Bay. Why the fuck would I want anything to do with my fucking mother? Are you fucking insane? Like now that Nan's dead, I don't have to have anything to do with her. So why the fuck would I have anything to do with her? This is bullshit. It's fucking ridiculous. This rubbish showing I'm a concerned mother and she fucking praised the deadbeat junkie daughter around that Faith Rackley little cunt. The deadbeat little scumbag that she had with her second husband, that piece of shit. And then completely brushes over the fact that the sister I'm closest to is my younger sister, Sky Sheridan Fleming, who lives out near Penrith. Just brushes over that. That my dad, my actual father's, my own flesh and blood, who I grew up with because I was with my father. Right? Fuck off. And Amanda's behaviour, fuck off to my own twin sister. Piss off, Amanda, because we don't need two Carols. We do not need two fucking Carols. And you're fucking Carol, piss off. You are so toxic and damaging. Okay? And you guys, and I have the most toxic, you know? I'm not going to say like dad, like the stuff that dad would know. Like, I mean, I would expect dad to be like, oh, I don't know, I'll ask my son. You know, because we were their friends. But if my grandparents were like, they'd be like, oh, Justin did this. Like, my nan would say, and they'd be like, if Nan was asked who was Justin's friend, my first one, Nan would be like, oh, Rachel. Well, Rachel Simmons, he helped him move back in 2000. That's a long time ago. But that's what she did. Rachel, John Tataro. This, my nan could sit at Rodney Sard. I wish Justin would go out with Rodney Sard. That's what my nan used to do all the time. He wants to go out with these other guys, but I want him to go. Nan wanted me to date Rodney Sard. Nan could tell you, Mum wouldn't have a clue. She started making up stories. Oh, he was really close to this person. It's like, Carol hasn't got a clue about Justin. She only shows up when she wants something. She'll get friggin' trailer to a car and be friggin' going ransacking his place to see what she can get for free to give to the deadbeat junkie daughter. She's doing that for years. She'll drive to Sydney. She'll come to Sydney. She goes, oh, can I borrow some money for petrol? It's like, no one asked. No one wants you here, Carol. We'll be taking her down. She goes, can I borrow money for petrol? I'll pay you back. She never paid back. And she fucking, I've still got notes going, oh, just take here $20 off what I owe you. What you owe me, Mum? Fuck off. Over the years, what you owe me? Every time she showed up and said, he's like, oh, can you give me, I just want $200 for petrol. It's like, no, you weren't invited. You showed up, you weren't invited. She's got the trailer hooked to the car. She goes, you've got that other furniture. You don't use that anymore. I'll take that. Faith's got nothing. Faith's a junkie. Fuck off to the rack little cunt. And that's the thing. So I'm sick to death of this shit. No one gets to be in my life, thanks. And the organisation that started this trouble, mate, why don't you pay the damage? Or you're going to rally around friends and family. Mate, if I run into these little scumbags and messes, I'll flog you. Believe me, I'll fucking flog you. You see this here, I'll fucking take you. I don't care if I go to jail. I'll flog you, you fucking little cunt. See this? Mate, come near me, you fucking little scummy. I don't care if you're a female. I'll flog you. I'll flog the fucking shit out of you think you're going to come near me. You were told to fuck off with your bullshit scam in 2015 that this bastard made a story up and it wasn't true. You're not going to rally around friends and family. You're told to fuck off, mate. Do it again. I'll flog you. I don't care if I get arrested. I'll fucking flog you into your fucking pissing blood. Fucking try and involve yourself in my life again, you fucking little cunts. And watch what I do. I don't care if I go to jail for it. Okay? You think that you're an entitled fucking little scumbag piece of shit that can overstep boundaries in my life? I'll fucking flog you. Okay? And that's the way it is.